Going live. We are going live. I think we're on. How's it going, everybody? How are you doing today? Welcome to the show. It's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Hey, how you doing? If you were surfing YouTube and you accidentally came across me here, welcome to my channel. It's called Traveling with Bruce. And we love talking about cruise ships, cruise ship vacations, going on a holiday, having a good time, happy things, good things, all that kind of stuff. How are you doing? We have fun here on this show. Let's see here. What was I going to say to you guys? Just, want to say hi, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for supporting this channel. I'm a tiny little channel on a big YouTube world. We have about 2,507 or 8 or 9 subscribers now. I think it is just a little over 2,500 subscribers. Trying to grow the channel every day. Viewers from around the world. It's amazing. This live show, this little telecast of mine that I do Monday to Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern time and Saturdays at 2. And of course, Tuesdays, Thursdays, I throw in an 8 o'clock show Eastern time, which is trivia. Anyway, today being Wednesday, August the 8th, 2018, it's a 5 o'clock Eastern time show. I have viewers from the USA, Canada, Australia, England. I get viewers occasionally from Japan who join us, which just blows my mind. New Zealand, Argentina. Yeah, it's just fantastic. Folks all around Ireland. Yesterday I had some folks from Ireland saying hi. Absolutely wonderful. I love it. If you've never been here before, welcome to the channel. Welcome to Bruce here. I'm in Creston, British Columbia in Canada. I'm about 3-4 miles north of the U.S. border. And boy, let me tell you, today, out here in Western Canada and the Northwestern USA, we are having troubles. Serious, bad, life-threatening in some cases, but just some problems. But here, it's smoke. There's smoke in the air because of all the forest fires in the region. Down in California, there's a wildfire burning down there, which apparently is the single largest in state history. A couple fires have merged together just south of the Oregon border in Northern California. Just a terrible scenario. Thousands upon thousands of firefighters are battling it. Here in British Columbia, we have forest fires as well, northern BC and in the other areas. I mean, we have smoke here. Apparently, there's a couple forest fires in Idaho. We've got smoke coming up from Idaho. So it's a very hazy day today. Our visibility is only about 3 or 4 miles, and we're just, it looks like it's fog. It's just a smoky, foggy mess. We're going to hit a high of about 92, 93, so it's not pleasant as far as the heat factor. Thankfully, I'm indoors, and I got an air-conditioned house, so it's all good here. But not a pretty thing to look at out there at all. Not a pretty day. Tomorrow, we are going to 104 degrees. And the day after tomorrow, 105. We got 2 really hot days for us. These are 2 hot days back to back. I know my friends in Texas are laughing their butts off. They're slapping their knees, going, those Canadians, they have no idea what heat is all about. I know you folks in Texas are used to it. Of course, my friends in Las Vegas and all my friends in the desert. I love Palm Desert and that area. I used to live there. I know how hot it can get. But here in good old British Columbia, we're kind of not used to this sort of temperature. Although I will say, I would say every year, this region here hits at least 100 at least once, a couple of days a year. It looks like next couple of days are our 2 days. By Saturday, though, we're supposed to cool down. High of only 81 or something expected. We're going to drop 20-odd degrees in 2 days. So we've got a little relief coming. I'm kind of hoping that relief is not just a temperature relief. I'm hoping higher humidity. I'm hoping maybe some moisture in the air. Would be see some rain around here would be nice. Not necessarily here, but wherever the fires are would be great. Anyway, for you folks out there, tell me, where are you living? What's your high temperature today? Tell me what the price of gas is in your neighborhood. We always love comparing gas prices too. The other day, I know last week I was asking you folks how much booze was in your neighborhood. My great viewer, Robert Brandt, viewer in St. Thomas, last week he was telling us you could buy a bottle of rum there for what was it 750 milliliter bottle of rum was $7.50 a bottle, American. 750 milliliter in this town, Creston, British Columbia, $35, $40. Holy moly, do we have taxes up here for that kind of stuff? Yikes! Doesn't discourage people from drinking it though. They drink. We drink here. I'm not much of a drinker. I'm very, if anything, I'm a very, very light drinker. I almost don't drink at all. My wife Jen, however, she loves a beer and she loves her rum and Coke. and she enjoys her cocktails. Why not? But yeah, the price of alcohol is between Canada and the U.S. Well, it's not even close. But around the world, it's interesting to see what people pay for alcohol too. If you're overseas, tell me, what are you paying for booze? How much does booze cost you in Britain? How about UK and Ireland? If you buy a bottle of rum, want to take it home, or a bottle of vodka, what does that cost you? I'd just love to know. We compare prices like that all the time. And those of you in the UK, how much are you paying for gasoline for a liter of gas? And same in Ireland and Australia, around the world. Tell us how much you pay for that stuff, and we'll compare notes. Special shout out to a couple of people. First of all, today I want to give a special shout out to Michelle Wisniewski. Michelle is a regular watcher of this channel and a supporter of my channel all the time. I thank Michelle again. Michelle made a donation on my PayPal, a donation button. There's a PayPal donation button on my channel. It's on the homepage of this channel. It's kind of up here where all the little buttons are. There's a red bubble there. There's a Twitter button up there, and there's a PayPal button, and it says donation on it. And folks make donations to this guy, to this channel from time to time. And I usually, I've been asking the last few months, if you would like to make a donation to this channel, I would gladly accept it. But Jennifer and I are particularly thrilled whenever we get a donation through PayPal. And the reason is we get about 94 to 96% of the proceeds. It's a very small cost to receive funds in. Whereas we do get super chat money from some of you watching us live on the show during my live chat. I don't mind super chats at all. I love it when they come in. The reality, though, is a super chat donation, it's a 30% cost for us to get it. So we only get 70 cents out of every dollar from a super chat, whereas we get about 94 to 96 cents out of every dollar donated through PayPal, through our PayPal donation. So we got a donation this morning from Michelle, and thank you very much. Last night, Debbie Manuel did a donation to us. Robert Brandt did a donation. I listed them all off yesterday, and I thank all of you. A lot of you are regular donors to this guy's cause. Thank you very much for all of that. Those of you who are looking for swag like this, you can get this on the Redbubble store. Again, the icon is up here on our homepage. You can also find the link to my Redbubble store in my description down below. And folks have been picking up items from time to time, like coffee mugs. Here's another example of a logo here, Traveling with Bruce, with the moving propeller on it there. Thank you very much for that. You can get this as a travel mug. You can get this on a t-shirt, a hoodie, a spiral covered notebook, clocks, just all kinds of stuff. Working on a couple new logos right now that we're getting ready to load up in the next few days. We're getting ready for our birthday too. This channel is going to be a year old in 4 days. It's August the 8th here, August the 12th. I started YouTubing a year ago. I can't believe how much time has gone by. It's unbelievable. It's almost a year. Fabulous. We're, like I say, 2,509 subscribers. Thank you, everybody, for that. Also, some of you folks are trying to help me out on with your Amazon purchases. If you want to buy anything on Amazon, you can do an Amazon purchase through an affiliate link this channel has. There's the link down below. Sorry to say, but the other day I got a message from a viewer saying, hey, I'm putting an order through. I hope it works for you. Keep an eye open. It was almost a $200 purchase on Amazon. It never clicked, and we never saw it. And I don't know what happens. I know some of you out there who've been trying to help this channel by going to the Amazon link, which automatically gives us a commission on anything you buy. I think it works for 24 hours. But sometimes what happens is you'll get into the Amazon site, you'll see an item, and then somehow, I don't know what it is. You get taken somewhere else, or folks get knocked off to another site, and they end up buying something on Amazon. It doesn't come to us. We don't get any of it. I don't know if someone's stealing from us, whether it's confusing with Amazon, whether Amazon is putting in all kinds of little trick links, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know who to call. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know who to complain to. I got nothing. I'm just a tiny little YouTuber trying to make it. So again, any of you who do buy anything on Amazon for us, thank you very much. And if it comes through as a donation, a little commission comes our way, thank you very much. We get, the other day we had a 68-cent commission and another one 62 a week before that. And someone, Tom Henry bought a camera the other week. We got a $40-odd commission for that. It was fantastic. I mean, it runs the gamut. So if you're going to buy something on Amazon, give it a try. Check the link down below in the description, the Amazon link we have. You may note that if you click on that, you're getting to the Amazon homepage. When you look at the top of the page where the email address is, you look in there, you'll see it'll say something like traveling with 07, something like that. That's our link. That's Traveling with Bruce. If you see that up there, when you get ready to buy an item, you should be sending us, Amazon should be sending us a commission on the buy. But when you're getting ready to hit the buy button and you don't see that little, somewhere in that email address, you don't see where it says traveling 07, whatever that is, you're not helping this channel. Somehow you've been waylaid. And again, it's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's just the way it is. You may want to go back and try again. It's up to you. Whatever comes our way from Amazon is just found money. I've given up trying to depend on Amazon. I thought Amazon was going to be a huge deal for this channel. I don't think it's going to be a huge deal for this channel. I can't control the where you end up. It's not me. It's them. And where you end up and what you end up getting and what I get paid for, out of my hands. So the best way to support this channel, apart from Amazon, nothing wrong with that, this stuff right here, out and out donations, watch my commercials, whatever, and we'll just keep on going. So there you go. I'm not going to kill that Amazon link. I'm going to keep it up there because it does work, but not every time, and that's where some of my folks are frustrated, and I get it. And I thank you all for trying to help me any way you can. I really appreciate it. Okay, well, let's say hi to everybody who's here because folks are signing in like crazy. I see Robert Brandt is here too. Robert is in Europe right now. I'm not sure if he's in Vienna today. We'll find out in a minute. I'm going to read all these comments and say hi to everybody. Thanks again for joining me, everyone. Thank you for coming by. Today's topic is the stock market is near its all-time record high. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is only 1,000 points away from its all-time high. For the year, it's had a range of 5,000 points from the lowest number to the highest number. Right now, it's 1,000 points away from the high number. That's 80% of the way to the top end. And cruise stocks like Carnival and Norwegian and Royal Caribbean are at their hanging around their 52-week lows. Why is it that with the cruise market as great as it is, and the cruise line companies telling Wall Street analysts, oh, business is fantastic. We're getting all kinds of money for our cabins. We're getting people spending all kinds of money on board our cruise ships. We're building new ships. It couldn't be better. Why is it then that if it's so good that the stocks are not doing so well? How come they're not at the top of the range? Why aren't they near their 52-week highs? They're actually near their 52-week lows. We're going to talk about that. I have some theories on it. I want to get your thoughts on it. And we'll compare some notes, and we'll see if we can figure out what the heck's going on with these stocks. What's wrong with the cruise ship stocks? Not all analysts are on board with the presidents of these companies, chairman of the boards. Things are happening. Anyway, enough of that. Let's say hi to everybody. 36 viewers here. 37 viewers are coming in. Hi, guys. Welcome to the show. Tell me where you're watching me from. Richard C. 92 degrees here in Philadelphia. Bruce, is Canada going to kick the Saudi diplomats out of Canada? I read that the Saudi government is liquidating all Canadian assets from their wealth fund today. That's his question of the day. Now, I like talking about cruise ships and going on holidays, but I have to admit that occasionally, rarely, a cruise ship might call on a Saudi port, but not really. There are a lot of Saudi Arabians who live in Canada. Did you know that? There are apparently, I read somewhere, 8,000 or more young Saudi Arabian students in this country going to universities across Canada. Have been for years, for probably a decade or two. There are a lot of Saudi Arabian people who live here who have relatives back home in Saudi Arabia. We've had fairly good relations with the country. A lot of Canadians work in Saudi Arabia, have for decades, helping them pull out the oil, refine the oil, keep their systems up and running. A lot of Canadians work in finance and insurance and other businesses. And then the country of Canada does do business with the country of Saudi Arabia, grain sales, pipeline sales, and also military sales, because Canada as a G10 country, G8 country, Canada has a military capability to produce anti-personnel carrier or personnel, not anti, personnel carriers, other vehicles, munitions, you name it. I mean, Canada makes weapons like most other sophisticated countries do. We sell a bunch of them to the Saudis. But there's a bit of a spat going on between Canada and Saudi Arabia. Apparently, Canada had the audacity, the nerve, the absolute nerve to mention that, we in Canada don't think it's a good idea to imprison human rights activists. We're kind of like, we like women's rights. Like, we think women should have rights. We're funny that way. We're kooky out here. We up here in the north, we think women should be allowed to vote, drive, speak, travel freely. They don't need dad's or their husband's permission to go to the grocery store or go see a relative across the country, or if my wife wants to travel and see her sister, she can do that. But I guess in Saudi Arabia, they don't like that. They don't like that we are insisting or making it known that our views are that there are human rights that are kind of like cut in stone. Certain things are like solid, and women's rights is one of them. And I guess the Saudis just freaked out. The ruling head of Saudi Arabia just went nutso cuckoo and decided that this is an interference in our country's affairs and how we take care of our own here, and we don't need some little punk ass country like Canada telling us what's going on. And they kicked out our ambassador. They gave him 24 hours to get the hell out of Dodge, and they told their ambassador from Canada, get the hell out of Canada right now. We want you back here. And they are canceling direct flights from Riyadh to Toronto using Saudi Airlines. They will not, they're stopping those flights, I think, in the next week or so. So if you want to get to Saudi Arabia from Canada, you're going to have to go somewhere else first and link in, and the same way the other way back. Now they're telling all their students in Canada, get out, don't study in Canada, get out of there, go somewhere else. Go to the States, go to Britain, go to Germany. Well, it's August. School starts in 3 weeks. Kind of a problem. Timing isn't very good. There are medical students in this country learning how to become doctors and surgeons. They're being told to get out. The Saudis are PO'd. We here in Canada are kind of like, really? Like, really? You don't know how we feel about certain things with respect to human rights? You want to be part of the Western world and, be taken seriously by G7 countries, G8 countries, that you're a progressive society and you don't understand what our thinking is? Boy, have you guys not been paying attention? But apparently now, in the last 24 hours, there's all kinds of propaganda on television in Saudi Arabia talking about Canadians being ruthless bastards. We apparently are the meanest people on the face of the earth. We treat our Indians in the worst way possible. We treat women badly. We're just scum. And, well, they're just not going to deal with us. And they're going to show us. Well, the Swedes, the Germans, the French, the Swiss, and other countries have already been through this with these guys. They've done this before with other countries where they don't like being told, we don't like the way they run their affairs, and they just freak out. They just go nutso cuckoo. Sorry, but I'm not sorry. Sorry, I'm not sorry. You can't handle it. Don't become part of the world community. You want our respect. You want us to respect how you conduct yourselves. Maybe you clean up your act a little bit. Stop beheading people for crimes that require maybe a 5-year jail sentence. But hey, I'm not telling you how to run your country. You run your country the way you want. If you don't want to be part of the Western world, I get it. But boy, you sure love our money. You love our cash, don't you? You love selling us that oil or everyone else. And you love buying the jets and the fighter jets. And you love having one of the strongest militaries in the Mideast. Just be kind of nice if you sort of, maybe, conducted yourself like a more mature country. But hey, do it your own way. So they're selling off Canadian assets. Who cares? Dump them. Don't invest in our businesses. Don't invest in our country. Drop the Canadian dollar for all you care. Go ahead. It's your call. If you want to isolate yourself from the rest of the world, be what you are, and move forward. However, there are citizens in your country that boy, we sure feel for them, and it's too bad. But hey, I find it funny that over decades, how many university students have graduated with a Canadian degree from Saudi Arabia and gone back home or gone elsewhere in the world, become very successful doctors, lawyers, accountants, insurance people, and investment advisors, and on and on and on. It goes on and on and on. These folks were here for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 8 years studying, getting doctorates and everything else. They sure didn't seem to mind hanging around here. They didn't mind hanging around, getting a Timmy Hortons coffee and watching the old hockey game, making friends with Canadians, living with Canadian families when they were going to school, learning how we operate here, how America works, how Europe works. I can't believe that when they were here, they were all mad at us. I couldn't believe it. I can't believe that. I think that these 18-year-old kids, 20-year-old kids, 25-year-old graduates have gone back and have a whole other mentality about what it's like out there outside of our little country here. There's a whole other world out there, and boy, do they treat people differently there than here. And yet here in Canada, we don't have beheadings. We're, I think we're okay. I think our kids are doing all right. We have a long life expectancy. I think we pretty decent folk. I think we respect people around the world. But when we see a wrong, I think we're going to talk about it. And that's just the way it is. There's my political rant for the day. I don't know how many Saudis I've lost today as subscribers. I hope I haven't lost any. And my American friends and European friends and Australian friends, I don't know what you think about that whole situation. I don't know if you even know about it. This is a little spat that started 3 days ago, and it's just blown up diplomatically. The Canadian Prime Minister is going, we're not going to stop talking about human rights. If you guys think we're not going to talk about you think again. You don't want our personnel carriers? Fine, don't buy them. You don't want our wheat? Don't buy our wheat. But you guys jailing innocent people and people who want better life for other human beings, you want to jail those folks? We're going to talk about it, and we're going to bring it up because we don't think it's right. But hey, it's your world that you live in. We live in ours. We're quite comfortable here in our skin. I don't know how comfortable you are in yours, but do what you got to do. Sorry. Cat Rose, 81, but feels like 90 in Sacramento. I'm moving on. I wanted to say hi to Michelle Wisniewski for that donation today. Thank you so much. Peter Heckema is here. Hi, Bruce. A beautiful day in Tarpon Springs today. 93 degrees and lots of sun. Gas in our neighborhood, 252.9. Seems to be going down a few cents every week. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? You're finally coming back, but I saw oil approaching 68 again, or is it maybe backed off a bit today at $67 a barrel? Kat, I do not know gas prices as they can differ greatly depending on what part of the city you are in. And Kat, you are correct. Buy gas at Costco could be 10, 20 cents a gallon less than somewhere else in town. Wes Morrison, high of 98 here, and New Braunfels. Hey, Wes, how you doing, buddy? Hanging in there at 98. Jim Thomas, hello, Bruce, and all 104 in Anderson, California today. Jim, hang in there. Thanks again for your donation the other day. I noticed that. Thank you very much. Hope your knee's getting better. And man, 104, that is just too much. We're going to be 104 tomorrow, 105 the day after. Misery loves company. What can I say? Cat Rose is saying, don't try. Just don't try. Jim Thomas, Peter, how much, and if that is per gallon, I think I need a horse. Jim Thomas is saying it's $3.48 a gallon in California. That's a little less than us. We're about $3.60 probably US by the time we convert it. Jim Thomas at $2.52. Is it made from baby harp seal blubber? My goodness. Robert Brandt. Hi, Bruce and everyone. On my way from Cologne, Germany to Koblenz, Germany for the morning, and it is currently 74 degrees. Robert is on a Viking River cruise ship in Germany right now, joining us live late in the evening. And man, he's having a great cruise. This is awesome stuff. Kat saying he's lucky. Robert Brandt, no idea what gas is running here. Haven't had to buy any. That's right. He's on a cruise. He's on a river cruise. Kat Rose, I have an odd question after a dry dock, repaint, carpet, etc. how long are spaces allowed to air out during the outgassings of material? Oh, cat. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me quickly try to help you here. If this was, if we were in the real world, like an office tower in a downtown community like Sacramento or LA or Calgary, Alberta, you want to renovate a building. Your contractors are coming in to renovate the building, and you're ripping out flooring, you're ripping out drywall and ceilings, and you're putting everything new in, like a cruise ship, a rebuild. In on land, you've got environmental rules, you've got hazardous material notifications, you have hazmat suits, masks for the workers, no other people anywhere in the area. It's serious stuff. Once the work is completed, you have the fans on to air out everything, to get all the hazardous fumes out. I know that in my wife's case, Jennifer was in building management, and she would tell me that when they would put new carpeting in, they would crank the heat up in the on the floor that where the new carpeting was laid. They'd crank the heat up as high as they could get it. Bake the carpet, literally get the fumes to come out, literally get them going, and air it out. And then and about a week after the renovation was all done, then the workers could come back in because the carpet had given it all up. But on a cruise ship, you don't have that kind of luxury. On a cruise ship, you might have a 10-day, 14-day, 30-day time frame to redo 15 floors of cruise ship carpeting on the hallways. Perhaps all the cabins are going to be redone with a section of carpeting, and they'll open up the doors to the balconies, and they'll open the doors to the inside suites and try to air it out as much as they can. But we're talking about a lot of interior space here, and there's just not a lot of places for air to go over such a short period of time. You might have the carpeting put in last, because first thing you're going to do is paint. You're going to do plastering work. You're going to do all kinds of dirty, sanding and re-lacquering work, and then you're going to do the carpeting last, because you don't want anything to fall on the carpet once the carpet is on the floor. You want that to be the last thing to do, and sometimes carpets don't have more than a day or two to air out on a cruise ship. And so the answer to your question is, how long are spaces allowed to air out? As much as they can give it, but it isn't much. And there are times where passengers come into a cruise ship and it's all smelling all brand new. Yeah, because it is all brand new, and they're still inhaling all these fumes from the glues, the adhesives, the lacquers, the paints, the carpeting, who knows what else, above the ceiling tiles. There's all kinds of stuff up in there, the wiring and the piping and all the welding that was done up there. There could be all kinds of material still up in there that will take a long time to settle down, because the ship is moving now and vibrating, and everything is still in the air. Coming onto a ship the first week or two of after a dry dock can be hazardous for your health, and I really feel for the crew, because in some cases these dry docks last a week or two. The crew's still on the ship. They're down below. They're living there. They're not going anywhere. They're living there. They're eating there, and they're helping out with the construction workers, moving stuff around, getting furniture over here, and then bringing furniture back, and moving tarp and putting tarp down and taping and untaping. And oh my God, some of these folks are given masks. Some of them are not. They're there for a year or two or three, and then they're disposed of, and they're bringing in new crew. I hate to sound so negative about this, but you tell me where the regulators are, the environmental hazmat people are in international waters to measure all this stuff. They're nowhere to be found. Some of these dry docks, they're very hazardous, happening in third world countries where there's just no protections, and you get a cough and you just don't feel well. Oh, your contract's up, you're gone, and we're not bringing you back because you got that stupid cough. Don't come back. It's reality, and I don't want to be a downer, but there you go. Tom Henry, hi everyone. 93 Fahrenheit in Richmond. My car is electric, so I don't need no gas. Yeah, man, way to go, buddy. Fantastic. Paul Wilgus, hey, all 69 here. Was 86, but a storm just passed through. Gas is $2.59 here a gallon. Paul, that's fantastic. Robert Brent, did you make it up this morning after your late night watching Bruce? He watched my trivia show last night, and then he finally went to bed. Tracy Dunlop, hi Bruce and all. Woke up at 78 Fahrenheit in Naples. By noon, it was 93. Then the rains came and cooled down a bit. Now bright and sunny again. It's up and down, up and down. Tracy, welcome back to the show. Very interesting weather patterns. Peter Heckema, Jim, I paid $2.52.9 a gallon yesterday. Tom Henry, hi, Jim. How close are the flames to you now? I wants to know in California. Robert Brandt, Paul, I made it up with the help of a lot of coffee. And it's good coffee, I'm sure. Pretty good coffee on board. Paul is laughing. Wes Morrison, gas here, New Braunfels, $2.45 a gallon. Fantastic. Jen and I are heading to Coeur d'Alene this weekend. I might go Saturday after the show. I need to get to Coeur d'Alene, and we're going to look to get some gas at the Costco there. The last time we were there, it was $2.99. Hopefully, it's come down in price. Tom Henry, hi, Robert. Still enjoying your river cruise is the question. Tracy is saying, hi, Robert Brandt. Did you make it through the day well with being up for trivia last night? Hope you had a great day. Carla Miller is here. Carla, hi, Bruce. 91 in Arlington, Texas. I'm finally catching a live show. Carla Miller, you're catching a live show. For the past 2 weeks, I've been catching the replay. Carla, welcome to the live show. I hope I'm not being a Debbie Downer today, but it's just, what can I say? Sometimes topics just aren't fun. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my show. I'm glad you've been catching me already. And I hope you enjoy the live version, and more than welcome to participate in the chat. Let me know if you have any questions about cruising or anything else. I'd love to answer that. This is fantastic from Arlington, Texas. This is awesome. Wendy Thompson, 95 here, sunny. Hi, everyone. Hope you are enjoying the river cruise. Robert, Wendy Thompson, I know, is now in the Ocala, Florida area, because she is a new Floridian, because now she can drive to cruise ships from where she lives. This is fantastic. Jim Thomas, they are hold the lines. It's back about 10 miles. Okay, they're holding the fire lines. This is the fire in California. Jim is in California, and he's near the fire. He's in that area. They're saying about 10 miles now. That's how far the fire is away. They're able to hold it at this point. Man, Jim, I'm crossing my fingers for you. Crossing my toes. See what happens. Debbie Manuel is in that area too. Kat, most of the state is burning. She's saying, Robert Brandt at Tracy Dunlap made it, but it won't be a late night tonight. No, I only have one show, Robert. You can get to go to, after the show, go to sleep. Hang in there, Robert. Paul Wilgus, California wouldn't be having the fires if they would quit diverting their water to the Pacific Ocean, says the orange guy. Oh, my, there. I just lost 10 more subscribers by saying orange guy. Paul, you know, what are you going to do? We're dry here too. You know, my grass, I don't water it. It's dry. If someone put a match to it, it would burn. I tell you, tinder dry everywhere in North America. Crazy, just crazy. What do we got? Jim Thomas, where did you pay that, Peter? Where did you pay that, Peter? Wondering, I think, about the price of gas. Robert Brandt at Wendy Thompson. It's been great so far, the cruise. And started raining about 3 hours again, and we all hope the rivers will rise a little. So bring some water down here, because the river water levels, the water levels on the rivers in some of the German areas, Austria, Switzerland, France, the water levels have been quite low this summer because of the heat. The heat in continental Europe is just unbearable. Rain is, I'm sure, a welcome relief. Kat Rose saying, I feel for you. Wendy Thompson, we had rain every day but 3 days, she said. Seakeeper, Richard C. is here, keeps you from drinking in the far north. Bob, oh, hey, Bruce, about 92 today in Alabama. Go Tide. And gas is $2.53. So not a bad price for gasoline. And 92 degrees in Alabama with humidity. That is hot. Jim Thomas, thank you for all firefighters, for all helping out. Absolutely. Robert Brandt, booze is free on this ship. It's all good there. Robert is having a great time. Well, Williga said, Robert Brandt, hush, laugh out loud. Seakeeper is here. Hey, Bruce. Hi, Bruce and everyone. 96 degrees. 96 degrees. And murderously muggy here in Tequila, Florida. Thumbs up, everyone. Gas today was $2.70 US a gallon, or 96.4 cents Canadian a liter. Chicken and ribs are grilling slowly. Yum. Oh, yeah. Got the chicken and ribs going. Fantastic. Yeah, 96.4 cents Canadian a liter. Here, we're $1.40. $1.40 a liter in Creston for gasoline. Between here and Calgary, we saw it as high as $1.45 a liter. And that is 50% more. So take $2.70, add $1.35 to that, and you come out with $4.05 US a gallon for gas. That's what's being charged around here for gasoline. Folks, you've got cheap prices down there. Robert Brandt has got the happy symbols popping up there. Kat is saying, is there other things than booze and wine to drink for dinner? Are there other things? Good question. I'm sure there are. Paul, agree, Jim. Thank you for all the firefighters. Robert Brandt, Kat Rose, if you are asking me about this cruise, virtually anything bottled, waters, sodas, juices, you name it, Kat, anything you want. Just what do you want? It's all included. It's all inclusive, and it's all available. It's fantastic. I'm sure you can get coffee. You can get a cappuccino if you want, a latte after dinner. Just tell them what you want. It's a 6-star cruise, first rate all the way. Tracy Dunlop is here. Don't have a clue what gas is here in Naples. Lil usually fills up the cars. She doesn't do it. Kat saying, thanks, Robert, for that info. From the future is here. Hey, how you doing, Bruce? There is a new video by a young lady about a week ago on NCL Joy. It's very nice. It showed the running track all in Chinese. Wow, 50 million. Wow, isn't that something? Pretty cool. Robert Brandt, someone is, what is this here? Okay, someone in Washington, D.C. is filling his empty bank account with all your commissions, Bruce. I didn't say who, but someone in Washington is stealing your money. There you go. Who in Washington? Is there a guy on trial right now that may have been pilfering my account? I don't know. Is he after those nickels and dimes? I don't know. Paul is laughing out loud. Tracy Dunlap, do you know who purchases through your Amazon site? I bought a few things during Prime Day, multiple orders. Excuse me, Tracy. When someone buys something through my affiliate link on Amazon, I get a report from Amazon the next day saying someone made an order and they bought these 5 items or these 2 items or whatever it was, and I can see the items, what they are, and how much they are, but I don't know who. And then the day after, usually it'll say that order yesterday that's been shipped. It's been shipped. And here's your commission. You will now earn so much for this item, so much for this item, so much for that item. But it doesn't tell me who or what. Now, a lot of you out there have been sending me little emails, little messages saying, hey, I bought something for $28, or I bought this, or I bought that. Keep an eye open for it. And I see those purchases from time to time. Usually I see them. But I did get a message the other day from someone saying, hey, I bought about $200 worth of stuff on your affiliate link. Keep an eye open for the order, and it never showed. It's been 4 days, and it just doesn't show. So there are times where the order just disappears into the ether. I don't know how, and I don't know, because I am not part of it. I don't touch any of it. It's all Amazon, and I have to leave it to them. Robert Brandt at Cat Rose, they will even get a beverage for you if they don't have it, if it's available in the next port. So you want something we haven't got, when we stop the ship tomorrow, we'll get it for you. We'll have it for you tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's servant. And Jordan, good morning, Bruce. And all. It's 23 Celsius in Brisbane today. Trivia was epic last night. Thank you so much, Ann Jordan. We had fun last night. Thank you for joining me from Brisbane, Australia. Jeff Sume. Hi, Bruce. It is 81 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny in Seattle. Fantastic, Jeff. Hot weather in Seattle. That's warm, but warmer here. We're going to be in the low 90s today, but Jeff, enjoy that weather. That's fantastic. Robert Brandt saying hi, Ann Jordan. Ann Jordan is giving thumbs up, saying hi to everybody. It's Richard C. Cruise line stock. It's the Chinese market fizzle. They built boats for that market, and the Chinese are not booking them. That's an issue. That's why cruise ships are being pulled out of the Chinese market. There are other issues, but that's one of them. Nina Frank, hi, everybody, from a cool Sweden. Finally able to breathe again. It's cooling off in Sweden. Fantastic. It was very hot there. Nina, welcome back. Ann Jordan, morning. Robert, Richard C. Ann Jordan, morning. And hope you're having a fine day. And everyone is saying hi to everybody else. Tracy Dunlap is saying happy with Apple. Okay, from the future, are cruise lines overspending? A lot of ships coming. Overspending, overdeveloping. Well, a cruise line has to order a ship. They have to design it with the architectural, the engineering, get it built. That's about a 3 to 5 year process from conception to launch. Cruise lines have to make guesses as to how many ships they're going to need, but they also have to keep an eye on the age of their fleet. Just like airlines, They're keeping an eye on the age of their existing airplanes, thinking ahead. If they're going to order from Boeing or Airbus, these planes don't come out tomorrow. We might be 3 to 5 to 7 years before we get these planes. How old would our existing planes be by the time the new planes arrive? Same thing with cruise ships. And so cruise ship lines are looking at their older ships that now I would say the oldest cruise ships that are with the Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, and the Carnival Group, the mother corporations, the oldest ships at sea would pretty well be in the late 90s now. Nothing really left that would be beyond older than that. I mean, the odd ship here and there, but when you see a ship built in 1998, you're going, whoa, that's an old ship. That's 20 years old. I know Carnival's sinking $200 million into the Carnival Triumph, built in 1999. They're going to put $200 million into her, and they're going to keep her going at least another 10 years. But she'll be refreshed up to a high standard. I mean, $200 million, that's double what's normally considered a huge upgrade. $200 million is massive. But Carnival is looking at the future going, okay, if we order a new ship now, a brand new design, it'll be 5 years before we get it. That means any ship that we have from 1999 to say 2005, in 5 years from now, around 2023, these ships will be, upwards of 20 plus years old as we bring on these new cruise lines. And of course, our target market 5 years from now, 7 years from now, 10 years from now, they're not targeting Bruce. I'm 62. They're not targeting me at 72. They're targeting the 52-year-old that will be 62 in 10 years, or the 42-year-old that will be 52 years old in 10 years, the millennials. They're targeting millennials, and they're asking themselves, can we take our existing ships and modernize them to attract millennials, or should we be bringing new ships online with everything brand new, cutting edge, so that we will attract the millennials into those ships because we want their cash? We don't want to be known as an old-fashioned cruise line when these 35-year-olds turn 45 and 55. We want them to look at us and go, a cutting-edge cruise line with all the features. We want to be on that cruise, either my wife and I or my wife and children. Again, I'm talking about a millennial 10, 15 years from now. Carnival and Royal Caribbean and Norwegian, everybody else is thinking the same thing when it comes to building out new cruise ships. And at the same time, they're thinking, well, the Triumph will be 30 years old, 33 years old by the time these new ships come out in 10 years, 15 years. Maybe then the Triumph will be gone. It won't be part of Carnival anymore. Maybe the Triumph will be sold off to a cruise line that operates out of Mexico, or operates out of South America only, or operates out of Africa only, and does not cater to North American cruisers anymore because of its tiring age. This is what these cruise lines are up against. But at the same time, from the future, yeah, it's a tough one. What do? You can build a brand new cruise ship today, 6,000 passengers, liquid natural gas operated, all the bells and whistles. But boy, you order 5 of those at $1 billion a shot, 1.2 billion a piece. That's a $6 billion commitment, $6 billion with a B. You can get rid of 5 old ships, sure, but those ships are only $200 million a piece, $150 million a piece. You've increased the cost to your corporation by $5.5 billion. You are carrying some serious debt with bankers. Those ships better be full. And so this is a big commitment from these cruise lines, hence why we see ads all the time. Everywhere. We see ads for cruise ships everywhere all the time to keep them full. Free drink package, free specialty dining, no tip, $25 deposit, whatever it takes. Get those bodies on these ships every week of the year, because we got billions on the line, and that's what's happening. Robert Brent, from the future, that may be the case, but if they have a strategy, who knows? And Jordan, yes, Robert C. just waking up. Robert Brent, Traveling with Bruce, women's rights, as my wife show buzzed my head. Shoe, as my wife's shoe just buzzed over my head. Yeah, Robert, you're in a dangerous position. Richard C, need your tea or coffee? Richard Seakeeper, I read this morning that the province of Quebec's universities are in danger of losing over 250 postdoctoral students. Could well be the case, which means, of course, there are 250 openings for other doctoral students. But you know, it's a sad story. People's lives are being affected here. I have to think that you got to think really a student from Saudi Arabia who's been in Canada for maybe 6 or 8 years of study. They go back to Saudi Arabia. Do they believe that anyone who dares speak against the government should go to jail without trial? Do they believe that women are supposed to be treated like dirt in their own country? They were just in Canada for 8 years. Really? Is that really how you're thinking? You've been exposed to the Western world for 8 years. You've probably traveled in North America a little bit between semesters to see, see Niagara Falls, maybe see New York. Are we doing it wrong? Really? Why would you study here if we're doing it wrong? Come on. There's one camp and the other camp, and there's a disconnect. And the old world ways, are they really, you really think we're going to go your way? That we're going to buy into your notion that certain human beings have rights and certain human beings are slaves and don't have rights? I don't think so. You're kind of like the 1200s. 1,000 years from now, maybe you'll catch up with us. Like, you look modern. You sound modern, kind of. Sometimes you want to be taken seriously, that you're modern and cutting edge and you're with it. But boy, you guys act old, Stone Age like. What's with that? We here in the West are like confused. Yeah, strange. What do we got here? MG Toe, go MG Toe. And Jordan, for sure. Richard C. MG Toe, Trump pulled out of the International Human Rights Committee. Robert Brandt, lots of them in London. Tom Henry, hi Ann. Robert Brandt, I didn't say Trump. It was not me. I didn't say Trump. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. Robert, you're off the hook. Tom Henry, I wandered off to take some pics. MG Toe, send all the Muslims back to their country if they don't like it. OMG is getting nasty. Robert Brandt, sad faces. Cat, first people aren't treated as good as they should be. First people aren't treated as good as First Nations people. Thank you. We're trying. MG Toe, and stop Israel from processing all credit card transactions on an international basis. OMG is a conspiracist. Is that the word? I don't even know how to pronounce it. We're getting away from cruise shipping. And Jordan, hey, Tom Henry, Paul, Tracy, Wes, Kat, morning all. Hi, and Jordan, and saying hi to everybody. Robert Brandt, the oil is past peak. If you know the studies, that's why they have been developing these cities as tourist attractions. The Mideast have got to do something to diversify. They cannot be a one-trick pony. It's not going to happen. Paul Wilgus, hey, and Wendy Thompson, Tracy Dunlap, check the picture I sent you. How about that? Jeanette Greenbeck, nice looking T-shirt, Bruce. Love all the flags on it. Well, they're just generic. They're not like, they're just whatever. But thank you for liking this. You can get this on a coffee mug too, and on a travel mug. Thank you, Jeanette. Welcome to the channel. Seakeeper, Canadians are easy targets abroad. We just are. The world can fling poo at us all they want. We take it all in stride and break out the umbrellas. Yes, I am Canadian. I don't live in an igloo, not a lumberjack. That's right. We're kind of tough too. We play hockey, eh? Like, we're tough, right? We're not like baseball players. My finger's sore, I can't play. I broke my hand. Just tape it up and let me get out there for the second period. I got to get in a fight. Come on. We're Canadians. MG Toe, a Mid-East conflict causes oil prices to spike. There you go, Robert Brandt. And guess who keeps stirring that pot? At MG Toe. Send them all back to Mecca. MG, you're riling everybody up. And Randy Lucas is here. Randy, greetings, Bruce, and all from sunny Sturgis, South Dakota, where it's hot and a high of 92 degrees. Randy, do me a favor. I need you to help me out here. I want you to say hi to somebody for me. I'm a big fan. She doesn't know who I am. I want you to say hi to Caravan Caroline, who lives in a van. She's in Sturgis. Last I saw, maybe you've already met her. I want you to say hi to her. I want you to tell her I think her channel is fantastic. I followed her for the last 2 years as she's traveling in her van across the country, and I think she just does great work, and I really enjoy watching her videos. So, Randy, do me a favor. Say hi to Caravan Caroline for me if you run into her, and tell her Traveling with Bruce says hi, and I'm a fan. And if she ever wants to watch the show, oh, would that be great? But I'm sure she's got other things to do. MG Toe, Robert, I'm one of them. Robert Brandt, you didn't say orange, Traveling Bruce, so I think you are okay. Okay, thank you, Robert. Kat, I have heard that the king is reining in the princes and imposing austerity measures on them. There was a bit of a shakeup in the kingdom in the last year or two. This young guy, and all of a sudden he freaked out about what we said. Poor bugger. Robert Brandt, MG Toe, smiling. Richard C. Sorry, Bruce. Didn't mean to have you take off on Saudi government. That's okay, Richard. It's just been brewing the last couple of days. Tammy Ray, good day, everybody. Hi, Tammy Ray. How you doing? MG Toe, all they want to do is put women in their proper place. I don't think proper is the right word here. Oh, I don't like what they're doing. Robert Brandt, Cat Rose, that means only 4 palaces each. They're cutting them back. Tracy Dunlap, just checked it out. Wendy Thompson, you should post on Traveling with Bruce on Facebook. How big is it? Never saw a piece like that. Must have been pricey. Oh, interesting photo might be coming onto the website. If you go to my Facebook page, Traveling with Bruce, pop in there when I'm not on the air and say hi to everybody. Everyone who's here is there. We post photos on there, our favorite cruise ships, our vacations. Love to have you join Traveling with Bruce on Facebook. Okay, Seakeeper, I know the Molson Canadian rant by ROT. Look it up on YouTube. Educate yourselves. As the father said in the big fat Greek wedding, gas can't go down that much these days. Labor Day in 3 weeks. Okay. Thank you, Seakeeper. Suzanne Hoffman is here. Love your passionate rant on freedom. However, when you get excited and wave your hands around, it turns the color of your face and hands all orange. The lighting, this camera here in this computer, if I sit still and don't move very much, I might go back to normal. Right now, I'm a bit orange here, and we'll see if this comes back. It's just the silliest thing. This computer. There we go. There's more natural looking color right there. Okay, now if I kind of move like that, there you go. See, I turned color again. I have a lamp up here that's just a spot lamp. It's just a lamp that we use in our house. And I shine it directly on me so that I don't look like I'm in a cave talking to you guys from a dark corner of the house. But the camera up here has a sensor in there, and it sort of senses light and it senses contrast. And I don't know, motion for whatever reason drives it nuts. Here I go again. I stay still and you see me in the natural light. Sorry, folks, if I cause you to wonder what's going on. Richard C. Jim Cramer today on MSNBC said oil should hit $100 US per barrel within a year. So stock up on those electric cars, folks. Very interesting. I love Jim Cramer. I really like him. I think we're the same age. Jimbo does a lot of hard work. He does a ton of work. I don't know if oil will reach $100 a barrel. Truly, I really don't know. I think that the higher oil gets, the higher gas gets, people begin to conserve. They cut back a bit. Cars, well, had been getting more fuel efficient until very recently. We'll have to see how that plays out and how California deals with it. But it'll be interesting to see if this trade war thing continues to deteriorate like it is deteriorating. If this continues on, this will be bad for business. Business will slow up. Energy use will be not as necessary, not as needed. There'll be a glut, and the prices will collapse because there are too many producers out there who are leveraged too highly with their bankers for the future of oil. And this happens all the time. Everyone says, I've learned my lesson. I'll never do this again. And they do it again. Bankers lend money to oil producers at too high a rate. The price of oil drops. The commodity that the loan is pledged against isn't worth the loan. And we have shutdowns and around we go with the cycle. I don't know. We'll have to see how this works out. Mary, hi all. 81 and thunder showers here in New Hampshire. Hi, Mary. Robert Brandt didn't refer to that color. Wendy Thompson. Tracy, $2 with a plate in it. It is about 6.5 inches. Okay, Wendy Thompson, they didn't know what they had. Cat Rose, that is scary. I'm very sensitive to that kind of stuff. Robert Brandt, I like the smell of new paint and carpet. Maybe that explains it. Tracy Dunlap, MG Toe, let's not get into religious views on traveling with Bruce. Tammy Ray, sorry, I missed so many live shows. Busy time of day for me. Welcome, Tammy Ray, nonetheless. MG Toe, Robert, just used too much. Use too much. Yeah, I don't know how you say it. Robert Brandt, Cat Rose, wait a few weeks after they remodel, then play it safe. Exactly. A few weeks after after the refreshment of cruise ship, then go on the cruise. Not the first week after refurbishment. Tracy Dunlop, you got a deal at Wendy Thompson. Cat Rose, at Gen Con this past weekend, a famous authoress became ill in Indy due to that very reason. I'm not sure what you're referring to, so you're losing me here. From the future, folks, YouTube the NCL Sky disaster rehab during the cruise. Yeah, we from the future. I covered the Norwegian Sun cruise ship nightmare, cruise from hell, about 3 months ago. Did a ton of videos on it. If you want to know, folks, whatever happens to people who go on a cruise ship that gets refurbished at sea, check out my videos on the Norwegian Sun. What a disaster. That was a nightmare story. It's still not over. Wendy Thompson, it was a cute piece of pottery, said the lady at the store. Okay, Rob Souter is here. Greetings and salutations from Lewiston, New York. Today, 83 and muggy. Welcome, Rob. Nice to have you back. Seakeeper, this orange guy is giving oranges a bad name. Cat Rose, it actually has to do with forestry practices, drought, and bark borer beetles. That has a bit to do with it. I'm sure Robert Brandt at Traveling with Bruce, move to the Caribbean. It's lush and green all year. Oh, don't I know it? I've lived in the Cayman Islands. I do know that. But it's terribly expensive in the Cayman Islands. It might be a bit more reasonable in St. Thomas, I suppose. And although I tell you, I'd love to be back in Palm Desert. I wouldn't mind living there. I love the desert. I love it. And Jordan, stay safe, Jim. Stay safe, Jim, and Debbie. Hope all is well. Peter Heckema, Jim Thomas. I usually get my gas at Sam's Club, always a few cents less than everyone else. That's true. That's like Costco. Christine Elkins is here, 88 degrees in St. Louis with a heat index of 95 today. The muddy Mississippi keeps us steamy. Oh my goodness. Christine, welcome to the show. Welcome to my channel. I don't know if you've been here before. You look new to me. This name doesn't ring a bell with me. But if you've been here before, welcome back. If you haven't been here before, welcome to the channel. We're glad you're here. And Jordan, Jim Thomas, be safe. Firefighters, thank you for all your help. Wendy Thompson at Christine Elkins, thank you for joining us. Wendy Thompson, I will stay here. Wait until winter, she says. So, Seakeeper G. Bruce, are there any crooks in Washington? Are there? I went there once. I didn't see any, but it was foggy that morning. I could very well be wrong. You could have missed it, I don't know, Seakeeper. Christine Elkins at Wendy Thompson, where are you currently at? St. Louis has been extremely hot this summer. It has been the mid-90s with heat index in the 100s much of the summer. Wendy is in the Ocala, Florida area. Tom Henry, Diet Mountain Dew, please, Robert. Rob Souter, when I started driving at 16, gas was 18 cents an imperial gallon. I think it's gone up a little. When I started driving, it was 62.9 cents an imperial gallon. When I started driving, that would be about 15 cents a liter. $1.40 today. Hello, MG2. I just got a call from my official Princess Cruise Planner. All she wanted to do is push Princess Insurance if I go on a cruise. I'm platinum on Princess. I don't like to be hassled. Yeah, this is interesting, isn't it? To get a call like that. What would you folks think? Would you like to get a call like that from your favorite cruise line trying to hassle you and hustle you onto some insurance if you go on a cruise next time? That's called diversifying the line, trying to diversify their income streams, and I don't like it. If I want to get insurance, I'll get it on my own. Don't pester me. I might go somewhere else. That's interesting, MG. Robert Brandt, Tom Henry, like the Diet Mountain Dew also. Tom Henry, you gave good taste. You have good taste, Robert, Thomas saying. And Don Jordan is here. Hi from California, Central Valley, 93 now, on its way to 98. Don, we're in the same neighborhood you are. We're about 93, 94 today, 104 tomorrow, 105 today after. Stay safe, my friend. Welcome back. Robert Brandt is smiling. The Steaming Bean is here. Hey, he's saying, Steamer, where are you? Are you back in Canada again? Where are you at, buddy? Welcome, Wendy Thompson, Christine. We just moved to Ocala, Florida. To Rob Souter, all the Chinese are sailing on China's new aircraft carriers. They don't want to go on a cruise ship. No, no. Tom Henry, where is VLY? Tom Henry's wondering, where's VLY? Good question. And Jordan, hey, the Steaming Bean, awesome videos from Niagara Falls on Facebook. Tom Henry is saying, hey, Beaner, Don Jordan, Central Valley near San Francisco. Don, keep her cool out there. Richard C., hello, the steamer. Tom Henry, thank you, Don. Robert Brandt saying, all in all, cruising is a decent bargain. You are right, my friend. Cruising is a great deal. Cat Rose says, true. Steamer, has he mentioned that Netflix movie? Steamer does not like the Netflix movie like Father. He doesn't like it. He gave it a 5 out of 10, and I think he's being generous the way he's talking. I don't think he likes it at all. Haven't mentioned it today. Mentioned it the other day. Tom Henry, not today. Robert Brandt, he has. Not today, correct, Robert says. No, not today. Steamer, thank God. Thank God Bruce is mentioning that darn movie. I hate that movie. Wendy Thompson, 17th of August will be a month that I've been here. Steaming Bean, thank God equals thank goodness. Okay, TG equals thank goodness. Tom Henry, Bean doesn't like it. Robert Brandt, traveling with Bruce. It's just like hotels that have to update all the time, and casinos. That's right. Cruise ships have to update just like hotels and casinos as well. Exactly right. Sylvia, hi, Bruce and everyone. 92 degrees in Greensboro, North Carolina. Welcome, Sylvia, to the show. Richard C., aging of the boomers took a big toll out of Harley Davidson. Wasn't tariffs. It's the aging population, and the young riders want the BMWs, the Triumphs, and Hondas to ride on. HD, the wrong product now. Richard C., you are bang on correct. The folks at Harley Davidson are having a tough time with the aging clientele. Same with Cadillac. Cadillac, its drivers are ancient. They can't get the young crowd to get into the Cadillacs. They're having a tough time. And Jordan, haven't seen it. Bean, don't have Netflix. And Jordan, hey, Sylvia, morning. How are you? Steamer. And Jordan, count your blessings that you haven't seen it. Robert Brandt's laughing. MG Toe, Richard, a Harley will never be a wrong product. It is total cool. HD did not exploit the Sportster as it should. Oh, there you go. But the brand has an image amongst the crowds out there as an old man's bike. The young guys just don't feel it's cool. You're not going to get a young Asian guy driving a Harley. Not a chance. Not happening. Steve Bartley, Steve Bartley. Hi, Steve. The foreign students pay full fare. That's why universities love to have them. You are correct, Steve Bartley. It might be a rough year this year, but I have a feeling that next year there'll be students from around the world who will take the spots for all the Saudi students. And now I'm going to ask you this question. You are in the admissions department of a university. USA, Canada, Great Britain, Germany, France, all the leading Western economies. And you got to ask yourself, are we going to admit Saudi applicants like before? Because of these guys back home in Saudi Arabia have a little hissy fit and go all cuckoo caca and want to pull their ambassadors and tell their students to go home and tell all their people to go home. Why should we admit people for a 4-year program if we can't count on them for sticking around for 4 years? Why don't we bring in another German student instead, another French student, another American into Canada, for example? We have Americans up here all the time getting their university degrees. Why should we admit Saudis if the Saudi government is going to be unpredictable with their attitude towards Western democracies? Food for thought, isn't it? Yes, interesting. Steamer, you don't see thousands of Canadians in Saudi Arabia. Well, yeah, there are a lot of Canadians working in Saudi Arabia in the oil patch, but they're under contract. They could leave. True, they could leave. Robert Brandt, Bruce, remember where they were in the United Arab Emirates 100 years ago. Heck, Robert, remember where they were 50 years ago in the United Arab Emirates in 1950s, 1960s, and 70s. Where were they then? Oh my gosh, have they come a long way? But you got to wonder sometimes. Get with the program, you guys. Wake up. The steaming bean. Funny how America takes on the Middle East, but Saudi Arabia gets a free pass. Isn't that funny? How Saudi Arabia does get a free pass with the United States of America with all of those human rights violations. America just doesn't care, doesn't seem to have a policy. It is interesting being Canadian how America looks at the Saudis a different way than it looks at the Iranians or Syrians or other countries. It's just interesting. Yes, Steamer, you make a good point. Seakeeper, I'm so glad I blocked MG Toe long ago. I hear her dribble, but I don't have to read it. Robert Brandt, MG Toe, what do you think meaning a preferred drink if you have one? Robert Brandt doesn't get to vote for president, so don't blame me. Cat Rose, woot. Paul Wilgus, Robert Brandt, won't you be able to now? Robert Brandt, won't you be able to now that you own property in Naples? Oh, will you be able to vote? Robert Brandt, will you be able to vote that you have property in Naples? Good question. Very good. Randy Lucas, Bruce, I sure will if I find her. Thank you, Randy. Would love to have her. I'd love to let her know I think she's great. MG told Robert, I just got back from Costco. I picked up a 1.5 liter of Kirkland rum. Alas, it was made in St. Croix, not in St. Thomas. Remember, you still owe me a couple of bottles if I get to St. Thomas. Robert Brandt at Paul Wilgus. Have to make it my primary residence, and in doing that, all my income becomes USA taxable. So, nope, I'm not doing that. Right on, buddy. Don't you dare. Michelle Lucas, biker chick reporting from Sturgis in the Black Hills. 9 weeks before our next cruise. Thank God we get me out of this BARV, big ass RV, missing steward service. She's looking forward to getting back on a cruise. Paul Wilgus at Robert Brandt. Oh, don't blame you. The steaming bean. Trump does not have the guts to stand up to the Saudis. Robert Brandt. Who's Trump? Who's that? Cat Rose. Weird camera. It is a weird camera. I go from orange to plain. If I just sit here, don't move. If I don't move, I get my color back. And then it goes orange again. Let's see what happens if I'm going to go back to orange. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I don't know, folks. I hope you can handle it, folks. I'm sorry. Seakeeper, yeah. That reddish yellow hue is the lighting. Must be alternate facts or fake color balance. I know from these things. Robert, we know you're not related to the orange one. We know you're not. You're not. The steamy bean. Bicycles for all. Bicycles for everyone. Robert Brandt, alternative color. Steamy bean. Bruce has the complexion of an Oompa Loompa. I've got the complexion of an Oompa Loompa. Da 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 da. Ba-da-da. I played that slot machine. I know which one you're talking about. Oh my goodness. Robert Brandt laughing out loud. Tracy Dunlap. Hey, steaming bean. Been following your trip. You're having some vacation. I mean, you've been all over the place. This is fantastic. And Jordan, awesome. Michelle Lucas, 9 weeks and counting to your next cruise. Robert Brandt, I get hungry watching the steaming bean videos. Steamer just shoots food all the time. It's unbelievable. You can't help it. Randy Lucas, to all my Canadian friends, while you may find our U.S. president distasteful, please remember you have your own goofy PM. Pick at him sometime. It would be refreshing. Well, you know, he is the son of the other one, and we all hated him. Took a while, but we eventually hated the father. Oh my goodness, the youngster. Oh, you know, he's a millennial-ish. He's hip, but he has his ways. But he does stand up for the Canadian side of things. Love him or hate him, I guess. I don't know. It's politics. I still want to go there. Steamy Bean, thanks, Tracy. And Jordan, Robert Brandt, Bean's videos are awesome. Thanks, Beaner. Cat Rose, Gen Con is a large comic book, and I thought gaming held in Indianapolis, in Indiana. The Steamy Bean. But Trudeau listens to the deputy ministers. He does, and he gives them a lot of room to operate as well. Robert Brandt, Oprah Winfrey for president. Oh my goodness, here we go. The Steaming Bean. I missed those wackadoodle floods in Toronto. Oh my God, Toronto. Did any of you see what happened in Toronto last night? They had an out-and-out storm in a localized area of downtown Toronto, caused flooding in the streets. Two guys were in an elevator. I think they were in an elevator, maybe in a parking garage or in a high rise. Their elevator went to the bottom floor. I don't know why. Maybe the power went out. It just naturally just went down to the bottom floor, slowly, methodically, not like a crash. The elevator gets to the bottom of the shaft, and their feet is covered in water, and water is seeping in the elevator because the basement of the building is flooding. They get their cell phones out and trying to make a call, and they can't get a signal because they're in the bottom of an elevator shaft inside an elevator. They punch a hole somehow. I don't know how they did it, but somehow they were able to get a hole through the ceiling to get the phone out in to get a signal, and they were on the speakerphone to call the police to get help, the fire department. They're trapped in an elevator, can't get out, and it's flooding. They're now standing on the handrail. You know the handrail? It's about 3 feet off the ground of an elevator. They're standing on that so that their heads are at the top of the elevator, and they're up to water into their chest now, and it's rising. And there are two policemen get called to the building to help these guys. They go to the basement of the building. They're yelling, "Where are you guys?" They're yelling out, "We're in here." The policemen hear them behind the elevator doors. They can't get the doors open from the inside, from the outside. They can't open the door. Policemen somehow, somewhere, some way found a crowbar. How they did it, I don't know. Maybe it was in a patrol car. They got a crowbar, got the hell back down there, and levered that crowbar in between the door of the elevators. And with all their might, the four of them, two on the inside, two on the outside, wrenched the damn doors open for the elevator just in the last nick of time, because the two guys inside the elevator had like 3 inches of air left to breathe before they would have drowned inside the elevator. The cops got them out of there, and they swam out of the basement and made it out alive. What a story. That's a Bruce Willis scene in a Die Hard movie, wouldn't you think? Unbelievable. Way to go, everybody, on that one. Just crazy wackadoodle event in Toronto yesterday. Steaming Bean. No, Oprah, the celebrity for president, backfired. Richard C. MG2, I always buy the insurance. I cannot see into the future. Robert Brandt, cruise insurance if in hurricane season, may be very wise. Seakeeper, Norwegian calls me once in a while. I am platinum with them. Steamer, Diet Mountain Dew is yummy. Robert Brandt, the Steaming Bean, you might be right. Robert Brandt, but she's actually a billionaire. But she really is a billionaire. I mean, for real. She really is. And she hasn't gone broke once. She's never gone under. Then she hasn't got the experience. Then, she hasn't gone bankrupt at least 5 times. What does she know about business? I mean, come on. Oh, my goodness. Seakeeper, sometimes they offer good things, but I reserve the right to say, nay, nay. They're always nice. MG Tow, anytime you cruise, you should get proper insurance, especially repatriation insurance. Cat Rose waves to Dawn High from Sacramento. Nina Frank, Trudeau is a little, not saying that. You can read it for yourself. He's a little, you know what? Why do most countries choose dumbheads as leaders? There are exceptions. Well, oh my goodness, she's not a fan. Robert Brandt, yes. Seakeeper, the Beans, 5 out of 10 seems just about right. I didn't really enjoy it. Debbie Manuel, missed you today. Late. Hope all is well. To be 98 with Hayes and Chico today. Did I miss much today? Debbie Manuel, did Debbie miss much today? Okay, let's recap the show. All right, we talked about Saudi Arabia and Canada having a spat. Okay, we talked about how the steamer hates the movie like father. I mean, hates it. It was okay. I liked it from I liked the coverage of the ship because that's all I was interested in. I wanted to see what they did on the ship. I liked it. The rest of it was okay. Steamer is talking about, Steamer does a lot of food videos. People seem to like that. Robert Brandt is talking about how great the cruise is in Germany right now. He's having a great time, and why not? He's on a Viking River cruise. All kinds of folks have joined in to say hi to us today. New viewers again today, yet again. Michelle Wisniewski sent a donation to my channel today on PayPal. I thanked her very much. Debbie, I thanked you again very much earlier in the show, but you weren't here to hear it. Jim Thomas also sent me a donation yesterday. Thank you. What else happened today? Oh, MG Toe is on a rant today. He's out there. Some people like Trudeau, but a lot of people hate Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada. And someone referred to somebody with orange skin, and then it just all blew up. So there's kind of a recap of the show. I'm trying to talk about cruising. I was going to talk about why are the cruise stocks near the 52-week lows when the stock market is near the 52-week high. And I'm going to get there, but we're trying to catch up with all these comments. Debbie, you're up to speed. Don Jordan, hi, Rose. Silo, too late, too. I'm buying palm trees. Silo, welcome back, buddy. There's someone else here from Seattle today said hi already. And so you're not the only one from Seattle today. This is awesome stuff. We're growing in Seattle. Robert Brandt, HD, the youngsters, younger guys don't like that loud. HD, the younger guys don't like that loud. I don't know what that means. My sons all have bikes. Okay. Oh, Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson, the younger guys don't like the louder bikes. They don't like the louder Harley Davidson motorbikes. They all have electric. They all have bikes. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you. Because we're talking about Harley Davidson too. Seakeeper, I look amazing on a Harley Davidson, he says. Wife doesn't want me to have one. Insert sounds of the whip here. Whoosh. No motorbike for you. Whoosh. There you go. Robert Brandt, maybe the BUEL is the exception. Maybe the Buell is the exception. Steamy Bean, Trudeau is not my fave, but a lot better than the Orange Man. And when I mean orange, I mean not meaning Bruce, not Bruce Orange because of the camera here, but he means someone else. Rick Rivera is here. Let's see here. Oh, what do we got here? Okay, Rick Rivera. What did I hear? But there is nudity on the MSCC side, mainly toplessness among women and teenage women. I am presuming it's at the pools. Rick, we're hearing kind of that, but not kind of that. I think rumors, you know how they go. They start and then they just boom explode. So we're I'm not like digging into it. I'm just sort of reacting to what I hear. I can't confirm or deny the story. Robert Brandt, they are all Ducati boys. These younger guys love the Ducatis. And Jordan, Debbie Emanuel, how are you? Stay safe with Jim. Prayers to you all. Silo, get one of those upgrade emails today. Oh, he got one. He got one of those emails today for my Bliss Haven trip. Just a bigger 2-bedroom that we don't really need. Oh well, just got an upgrade email. So they're offering him an upgrade to a larger room. He doesn't need a larger room. He's on the Haven as it is. That's interesting that they're trying to upsell you this far ahead. It's interesting. MG Toe, if the Saudis are recalling people, then there is something else going on in the at the international level. Well, there's something going on, all right. Don Jordan, Bruce, did you see the news release on the young man who created the ocean cleanup? He has a net that covers 5 football fields and is collecting all the plastic in the ocean. Wow, that's interesting, Don. I know that you could have a net that's 50 football fields that won't collect all the nonsense in the ocean. It is a real problem. This is a real nasty issue. I saw, was it a news report the other day? Did any of you see this? It was, I believe, from Dominican Republic at one of their beach resort areas in the Dominican Republic. And I guess they had a storm system come through, or maybe a shower system, and the rains and the winds were the right direction. And all kinds of plastic garbage started coming onto the shore in this Dominican Republic area of the island. And government workers were out in huge numbers trying to clean it up and rake it in and then bag it and take it to landfills. And it was just 5 feet high on the beach and was just coming and coming and coming in. It was really something. That was a real sad sight to see. Kind of shows you what's out there. And in certain parts of the ocean where currents kind of converge, there could well be massive floating semi-islands of crap everywhere. And boy, I would love to find a way, if there could be some way to get that cleaned up. Wouldn't that be something? But boy, I don't know. This has been probably 20 years in the making, 30 years in the making. I don't know how many years of garbage is out there. It's just terrible. Unbelievable. I still see stories. I know you folks have seen stories on the news from time to time where in Oregon, Washington State, British Columbia, on the shore, something will wash up on shore and they'll say, oh, this is from Japan, from the earthquake and tsunami that they had in Japan 2 years ago. Stuff is washing up even still today. All kinds of nonsense. It's very sad, very sad. Richard C., the steaming bean. Saudi is one of the most important allies in the Mideast, along with Israel, to counter Iran and Yemen. Well, Richard, sometimes you got to hang out with bad guys, I guess. The Soviet Union was an important ally of the United States and Britain during the Second World War against the bad guys called the Axis powers. But once the war was over, we weren't pals anymore. Isn't that interesting how things change from time to time? It is interesting. And Jordan, hey, Silo Steve, do you get those upgrade email quite often? I haven't sailed Norwegian. Sylvia, good morning, Ann. Debbie Manuel, hi, Ann. Doing okay. Fire that was closest is doing better now, but now the largest in California history coming closer. Thank you for asking. We're all watching, Debbie, very carefully, watching very closely here. Tracy Dunlop at Robert Brandt. Remember where Saudi was in 1938? Yeah, exactly. Silo Steve, only hen, and we are in the haven. What? Only Silo. What are you saying? We're in. I'm not sure what's going on. I know Silo's in the haven, coming up on his cruise. I think they're trying to ask him if he wants to upgrade to a larger unit. I think that's what's going on. Richard C. Randy Lucas, love your comment. Cat Rose, which islands are American? Are you talking about the plastic islands? Robert Brandt at Tracy Dunlap. In 50 years, they are out of oil and have to create new revenue sources. It will be interesting, sir. Rick Rivera from Mr. Traveler, Rick is saying. MG Toe Sea Cruise is a basher. Don't listen to him. Seakeeper, oy vey, how I hated Trudeau the first. Oh, man, he was something. He was a smart, brilliant guy. Oh, brains like you couldn't believe. So much smarter than Nixon. But boy, he found a way to piss off everybody, didn't he? He was a piece of work. Robert Brandt at Cat Rose. The U.S. Virgin Islands are St. Croix's largest, St. Thomas next largest, St. John's smallest, and recent Water Island has been added, sort of, is what Robert is saying. Silo, build that Canadian wall. There you go. Keep those Canadians out. Oh my, Robert Brandt, Canadian wall, hashtag. Robert Brandt's laughing. Cat often is a hatch for that reason. Also often is a hatch for that reason. I don't know what you mean there. Jim Thomas, you made it, Deb. Yay. From the future, Rick, there are reports of the seaside topless nudity and kids running around. Crazy. Okay, I don't have a problem with children running around if adults want to be nude. I just don't care. I think kids that are 4, 5, or 6, they don't care. They don't care. It's the 13-year-olds to 18-year-olds. They care. They can't control it. What can I say? The boys mainly. Girls probably. Boys not. Debbie Manuel, yes, did make it. Hi, Jimbo. MG Toe from that's the kind of cruise I want to be on. A nude cruise, MG Toe saying. Okay, Robert Brandt, my kid's doing the nude thing here, but only the suites deck. Okay, interesting. Robert Brandt, I do nude, and it's considered a hazard. It's considered an event. I do nude, and I'm alone. Like myself. Jim Thomas, I think I need presidential election insurance. Oh my goodness. And Jordan, I get my travel insurance on my credit card. It covers myself and my son. I never get travel cruise insurance. Mary Ellen Shaw, I joined late and am confused about the conversation. What is the cruise connection that I'm missing? Mary, I've been trying to rein this in all day. I've been working on my show now for an hour and 20 minutes, and it's still out there. We've got stuff going over here. We got nudity going over here. We got Steamer talking about food videos over here. I'm trying to talk about the stock market for a little while over here. We got people talking about Trudeau over here. Got the Saudis all over here causing all kinds of mess and that craziness. It's been one of those crazy shows. MG Toe, I'm not going to read that. I can't figure it out. Debbie, okay. Oh, thanks for the recap. Going to make sure rewatch you once you post it. Love it. Debbie saying, I love this show. Yeah, you're just all over the place. I got to watch it from the beginning to see what's going on. Desi Wagner from Chicago. Good show so far, Debbie. A little political, but good. It is a little political. I don't want to be political. It is. Desi, welcome from Chicago. I'm glad you're here. Richard C. and Jordan, if you need to see the doctor on board, the insurance will cover the ship's doctor visit. You never know. There you go. That's a good reason to have insurance. You have it through your credit card. That would help for sure. Tom Henry, I am patiently waiting for the advertised message. The stock market, cruise stocks were inflated. Steamer is saying, Debbie, oh, hi, Desi, how are you doing? And Jordan, Richard, be safe, Richard. MG Toe, cruise stocks are very undervalued. Tom Henry, hi Deborah, hi Thomas. Okay, let's see. Silo, you were gotta go. Doing some online racing today, drift day today, cheaper than real racing. Been there, done that. Seakeeper, I also look fabulous in a Rolls Royce. Wife won't let me get that either. No Rolls Royce for you. No motorbike for you. You're out, Seakeeper. MG told the problem is that the cruise lines buy back their shares and then give them back to high management, which depresses the stocks. I'm not sure about that. The Steaming Bean, price of cruise stocks are value stocks with a PE of about 14 to 1. Normal now in the market is like 23 to 1, so the stocks are well priced. Robert Brandt, do we know what average income range of cruisers? I wonder if the stock market is expecting cutbacks in some income groups. That is a good question. From the future, back to cruising. And Harley Davidson, the captain of the Allure, rode his Harley Davidson in the parade on the ship. For real. Robert Brandt, floating plastic bottle islands. Carrie Bradley. Hi, everyone. Carrie Bradley. Hi. Are you new? And if you are, welcome to the show. If you're not new, welcome back. It's nice to have you here. Cat Rose, no, in the Virgin Islands from the future. Yeah, Mr. Traveler just got off the seaside and he reported the nudity. There you go. Mr. Traveler reported the nudity. Cat Rose, elevators, MG Tow, future, let them be nude. MG Tow, I'm not gonna let you put that most thing up there. You can't do that. Seakeeper, ribs and chicken should be ready. Gotta go. Thanks and bye. He's out of town. Okay, I've caught up to everybody. I'm going to talk about the stock market right now. By the way, Richard C is saying largest age group to file for bankruptcy is 65 plus. It's probably one of the largest age groups out there. That would make sense too. People got hurt in the last 10 years. Robert Brandt, Cat Rose, those are the U.S. Virgin Islands. Puerto Rico is also a U.S. protectorate. Why are the shares of major cruise lines near their 52-week lows when the stock market and other stocks are near their 52-week highs? What's the deal? What's going on that's good right now for the economy right now? Dow Jones near an all-time high. It's only 1,000 points away from its high. It's come right back from the dip it's had. The tax deal was passed by the Trump and the Congress. The taxes are lower. Corporate taxes are lower. People should be feeling richer. That should be good for cruising. Cruise lines are paying less in tax. That should be good for the cruise lines' bottom line. Why aren't the cruise line shares trading at a higher price? There's a hot U.S. economy. The U.S. economy has a low unemployment rate. It's got to be 3.9%. It was at 10% when Obama came into office after George Bush left it the way it was. Obama, during his presidency, it went all the way down to about 4.5%. Trump now has gone down to 3.9%. It's continued on. Why isn't the cruise line, why aren't the shares doing so well? Here's some bad news for the cruise business. Oil has been closing in on $70 a barrel. Jim Cramer, we just talked about this a half an hour ago. Jim Cramer predicts $100 US a barrel within the next few months, within the year. What's going on? Interest rates. The interest rates are going up. A 10-year Treasury note is now 3%. A car loan or a personal loan has gotten more expensive in the last year or so. That's bad news for cruise lines. They borrow a lot of money to build cruise ships. I read this morning, MSC Cruising just closed a deal to borrow 1.7 billion American dollars to build 2 cruise ships. $1.7 billion for 2 cruise ships. They just closed that deal. Those interest rates keep going up. These kinds of loans are going to become incredibly expensive to carry. Cheers, everybody, by the way. 1.7 billion? You want to borrow $1.7 billion? If the bank says to you this year, we're going to charge you this much interest. You come back next year and say, I need another 1.7 billion for 2 more cruise ships. The bank says it's 1% more for interest costs because rates have gone up. 1% on $1.7 billion? That's a lot of money every year on a 12 to 15-year loan. Wow, these cruise ships are going to have to make a lot more money per passenger just to pay the interest on the build-out of these fleets. Wages are lagging. In the United States, the stock market is near its high. Corporations got big fat tax breaks. Hedge fund managers don't pay taxes like the rest of you folks down there pay taxes because they get to claim all their income as capital gain. Thank you, President Trump. Wages are lagging. The average worker in the United States is not getting a 5% wage increase this year. I don't hear people getting 10% increases. Corporations are making major increases in earnings. Workers are not getting pay raises. They're like 1.5%. That's inflation. That means you're getting nothing. How can people afford to go on a cruise that keep going up in prices, apparently, if you're not getting a wage increase? How does that work? China issues. There's another problem for cruise lines. Cruise lines are having problems in China. They were supposed to be able to send all these brand new cruise ships to China, and all of these hundreds of millions of Chinese people were desperate to go on cruise ships, gamble like crazy on board the cruise lines with those casinos on there. And the Norwegian Joy is being pulled out. The Ovation of the Seas was being, Quantum of the Seas being pulled out. Others, what's going on in China? There's problems in China. Possible overcapacity could be an issue with the cruise lines. Possible overcapacity, because if they thought that they needed 10 cruise ships, 15 cruise ships in China, and they bring 10 of them out of there, those 10 cruise ships have to go somewhere else. They're going to the Caribbean. They're going to Alaska. They're going to Mexico. They're going to do European cruising. They're going to be in the Mediterranean. They're going to be in Asia. They're going to be where other cruise ships are now. That means more cruise ships coming to areas that weren't predicted to be there yet. And the capacity factor might be rising a little faster than the ability to use up the capacity. This could be a problem. Hence, why are the shares, maybe this is why the shares are underperforming the market. Right now, to give you an idea of how they're doing, here we go. Carnival Cruise Lines. It's trading at about $58.50 a share right now, U.S. currency. The high for the year, $72. The low, $56. It's only $2.50 above its low of the year. That's only 5% above its low price of the year. That's not very good. This company, Carnival, if you add all the shares together and multiply by the price, it has a market capitalization of $41 million. $41 billion, sorry. So the stock market says today, Carnival is worth $41 billion. But at one time, Carnival was worth about half as much more. Within the last year, the stock market was saying that Carnival was worth over $65 billion. Now it's saying, no, it's worth about $41 billion. And that's because of the future prospects of Carnival in the eyes of the investor. That's what I'm talking about. The stock market is the future. People are paying today for a stock what they think the company will be worth going forward. Not what it was worth before, what it's worth now and going forward from now. If you buy Carnival stock, you will get a dividend from the stock. It'll pay you a 3.4% yield on your money. That's a good interest rate. That's a good return on your money. Dividends are taxed at a lower rate than interest from your bank. However, if Carnival, through all of their lines, Princess, Holland America, Costa, Ada, P&O, Cunard, all of these cruise lines, if any of them falter and do not deliver the numbers, it's possible that Carnival may not have the profits that they predicted they would have going forward. The shares might drop even more in price. You don't know. They might have to bring back the dividend. They might have to cut the dividend back. That's what happens when companies don't deliver on their numbers. Right now, the stock is trading at almost 15 times earnings. So the amount of money that they're making per share multiplied by 15 gives you $58.50 a share. If the company is going to not deliver on its future earnings projections and they fall short maybe a year or two from now by, say, 5 percentage points, stock could be in the low 40s. And that would put the valuation in the mid $30 billion range after having been as high as $65 billion. That is a huge drop-off in value. That's just Carnival. Royal Caribbean trading at $111 a share. The high for the year, $135. The low, $101. So it's about $10 higher than the low of the year. But just last week, the company came out with their earnings for their second quarter. The shares went up 5% in one day. One day. It went up $5 a share to $116 a share. It's given it all back. It's come back to $111. That party is over. Anyone who bought the stock at 116 thinking it's going back to 130, they're down $5 a share in less than a week. What is going on? That's a $23 billion market value, by the way, for the company. They were at one time valued at closer to 30 billion. They're now valued at 23 billion. They do pay a dividend. You buy that stock, you will get 2.1% on your money. That's a lot less than Carnival, only 2.1. It does trade at almost 14 times earnings. They did just acquire 2/3 interest in Silver Sea Cruising. That was a $2 billion transaction. They borrowed the money. They needed $1 billion in cash. They borrowed it to buy that deal. The other $1 billion, they're taking on the debt that Silver Sea had. It's just added to the books. So in effect, Royal Caribbean in the last 60 days has added $2 billion in debt to its balance sheet by picking up that cruise line. They paid a premium price for that cruise line. As long as that cruise line delivers, all will be well. But if Silver Seas starts to falter and doesn't sell out their ships as expected this year, next year, the year after, that could cost Royal Caribbean. They might have paid too much for their 2/3 interest. We'll have to see how that plays out. Last publicly traded company I'll talk about, Norwegian, trading at $49 a share right now. The high for the year, 61. The low, 46. They're only $3 off their low of the year. That's 7% off the low of the year. They are valued at only $11 billion. They were valued at one time more like $20 billion. They're now valued at 11. The stock is getting kind of low in price. They do not pay a dividend. They do not pay a dividend whatsoever. You buy that stock, you get nothing for your money. You own it, and you don't get any value to hang on to it other than the capital gain or the capital loss. It's trading at 14 times earnings. It's not a cheap stock compared to the other two. This is the range for the stocks. The analysts out there are saying headwinds, oil prices. If they're going to $100 a barrel, these guys are in trouble because they use a lot of energy to keep everything running. The air conditioning, the plumbing, the engines, the kitchens, the freezers. They have to burn oil all the time through diesel, their fuel. What about the economy as a whole? Trade wars are getting worse, not better. China is not happy. They're more angry with the administration. What is going to happen with trade wars? Is this going to affect the economies? Any kind of a slowdown, a hint of a slowdown may cause people to pull back on future plans for vacations. Going on a cruise is, in some of our cases, is a necessity of life. There are viewers on this show that must go on a cruise multiple times a year. But there are many, many cruisers out there who look at cruising as a luxury, as a wonderful reward for a hard year's work. If people out there start thinking they may get a layoff notice, they cut out the vacations right now. They cut back. They stay closer to home. They might get a week or two off work, but they're not going on a trip and spending a bunch of dough. And cruising is one of the first things people cut. They'd rather take a land vacation to a relative that lives near Niagara Falls, or they know someone in LA. They'll visit someone in LA, try and stay at their house, see some of the sights. That's called a cheap vacay. Good deal. Otherwise, they'll go to Vegas and find that $25 hotel room and try to stay cheap on the gambling. They're not going on a cruise. And these cruise lines could find that their future bookings drop by 5 or 10% overnight. And all of a sudden, we've got projection issues. We have analysts in Wall Street who are going to say, hey, you guys are telling us that your numbers were going to be this, this, and this. You've got new cruise ships coming, this one, this one, this one. You all have new cruise ships coming. Your capacity is going higher and higher and higher, and you just dropped 5% of your future bookings. What are your numbers going to look like? They're going to be dropping. And that means that these shares will drop in price because the earnings projections will drop. The price multiple, the PE multiple, might actually go higher with the stock not falling fast enough. These shares could drop another 20, 30, 50%. We don't know. On the other hand, hey, Shangri-La, everyone stands around the campfire singing Kumbaya. Everything is good. The administration and China and Europe and Canada and everybody, they resolve their trade differences miraculously. No more trade issues, no more tariffs. Everything is fantastic. Free movement of people will be allowed across borders. and we can go cruising again. We can continue the economy on a rip-roaring high, and wages will go up. Interest rates will hopefully stay reasonable. Oil won't go too much. Everything will be fine. Well, that's a lot of ifs, and I don't see those all happening at the same time. Keep in mind one last thing. The United States economy, the Canadian economy, the European economies in general have been growing for 9 years straight. It's an all-time record. We haven't had a recession, haven't had a pullback of any significance with employment. That can't keep going. Eventually, something will falter, and the economy is going now on something known as the tax cuts. The tax cuts were anticipated, then tax cuts were delivered, and now the tax cuts are delivering profits. But that's a one-time shot deal. Next year, there will be no more tax cuts of the kind we've had. The corporate tax cuts have been had, and now it's go time. Can you match your earnings per share from the artificial boost you got last year from the tax cuts? That was an artificial boost to your earnings. Your widgets weren't more profitable because the taxman cut the tax rate. Your company got more profitable because of the taxman. The widget didn't make you any more money. Next year, you're still making the same widget. Are your customers there to buy it? Will they be buying the widget next year in a higher number so you can keep this growth rate going? I don't think so. I think this is a one-off. I think the tax cut will do its thing, but it'll then peter itself out. And then we have one last problem in the United States, in particular in the United States, something called the deficit. The financial deficit of the United States of America will be at the all-time highest number, will have grown by over $1 trillion. I remember when Obama was in office and a $400 billion deficit was called a national catastrophe. Now we have $1 trillion+ deficit going forward the next 5 years expected, because these tax cuts aren't bringing in more money. They're bringing in less money. They're called tax cuts. Well, if interest rates go up 1 or 2 or 3 percentage points because of the so-called hot economy, the U.S. debt load just got that much more expensive to carry. Where's that money coming from? It's got to come from somewhere, and it's the next administration's problem. Maybe in 2020, maybe in 2024, but someone is going to be paying this price for this tax cut that was just had. Bush did it in his presidency, and Obama had to pay for it. Now Trump is doing it. Who's paying it? Who's going to pay it? I don't see Mr. Trump paying off the deficit. It's going to be somebody else, and that is going to be cuts in services and higher tax rates. It's the only way you're going to do it. You cannot grow your way out of it. I don't think you can grow because you've grown as far as you've grown. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the economy doubles in size from here. I hope we have another 10 years of straight up economy. I just don't buy it. I really have a tough time buying it. I don't know if that's going to happen. We shall see. Okay. Robert Brandt, medical bills, new cause of bankruptcy in the 60+ age group. That's the number one cause. I thought Obamacare was supposed to eliminate that. I thought that the so-called going bankrupt because of medical issues would be solved by Obamacare. But somebody eliminated that, and all of a sudden, it's back. Bankruptcies from medical care are back, and they are going to be worse than ever before. I don't know how this is going to play out. We'll have to see what happens. Robert Brandt, number one. Stu Tuber, do you like Nick Gears? I don't know who that is. Robert Brandt, live is the USVI, and your taxes are 6 to 8%. 6-8% taxes in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Robert Brandt, not 28, 33, and 47. Looking good. Robert Brandt, but living in the U.S. Virgin Islands, you must live 50% plus a day in the islands to qualify for that tax rate. Robert Brandt, lots of hedge funds making their home office in St. Thomas for the taxes. They don't want to pay the taxes. They're keeping it for themselves. Amy is here. You are a wealth of information. Sets you apart from other channels. I enjoy the finance talk mixed in with the cruise talk. Amy, thank you very much. Tell everybody you know that you should be watching my channel. I need all the viewers I can get. I need all the subscribers I can get. Thank you, Amy, very much. If you have any questions on it, let me know. More than happy to talk about it. Robert Brandt, I'm biased by Caribbean, or by Carnival. Debbie Manuel, to Amy, I'm not sure she made. That's what she's saying. Mary Ellen at Desi, I agree. Not crazy about political talk. At least it seems to be in good fun. I try to keep it light. I really do. Kat, I have no idea. And Jordan, have a great day. All awesome show. I'm lost in stocks and shares. Got to go see you all tomorrow. Stay safe, Debbie and Jim. Richard C. and Jordan, have a great one. Robert Brandt, bye. And Kat, Rose, it is scary how many cruise lines are being merged. Robert Brandt, NCL is not suggested to buy. I would not suggest it. They are paying slower and slower at NCL. I think NCL is having problems myself. Debbie Manuel, bye, Ann. Thanks for chat again tomorrow. Jay Kelly, hello. I'm BOI. I changed my name. Hi, Jay Kelly. Richard C, hello. BOI. Rob Souter, Norwegian shouldn't have trashed Cruising with Wheels. Might be paying for it. You never know. Robert Brandt, you worked in the financial industry. Ever meet an ultra wealthy analyst? That's the point. There you go. Robert Brandt, Rob Souter, NCL has issues, and yes, Cruising with Wheels was dead wrong. Well, you know, we all have our opinion on what they're doing. Richard C. Bruce, also the cheap bank rates, they are low, especially in Europe. They must bring rates and inflation up across the world. Robert Brandt, Obama goofed or golfed too much. Obama golfed too much, says Trunk. Yeah. Oh, the guy who's 7 times his golf time. Mr. Orange doesn't pay taxes. How do we know? How do we know what he pays? He won't reveal his taxes. It's a big secret. Yes, right, Robert. Yes, what are you going to do when the president won't even reveal his own story? How can you believe anything the guy says? I don't know. Anyway, I lost another 10 subscribers. There you go. Anyway, there's my story on the stock story. There are so many headwinds facing the cruising industry. The airlines are not far behind. The airlines have been spending all kinds of money upgrading their fleets. They've got big loans out there for these new aircraft that are coming. They have to retire the old aircraft. They're trying to improve their efficiencies. But there's only so far you can gouge the consumer. Eventually, the consumer says, no more. I'm not playing your game anymore. I will fly less often. I won't not fly, but I will fly less often. And if you're addicted to me having to fly often to that kind of cash flow, and I cut back my flight by 5% a year, you guys might go under. There are airlines that might be in trouble. Of course, the airlines have merged to the point that there's only 5 major airlines left, and they're trying to control the market as heavily as they can. But consumers ultimately have the power to say, no, I will not pay. Same thing on cruising. People can always say, I'm not going on a cruise. I can go to, I'll camp. I'll go camping. I'll stay in a Motel 8. I won't go on a holiday. I won't fly. I won't go on a cruise this year. I will cut back. Cruising can be an area cut back. Politically, if it's unstable, cruising could be in trouble too, because if there are certain ports they can't go to, they have to go to other ports. I'm beginning to notice more and more cruise lines are now offering cruises that go less distances. They go shorter distances. I don't know if you've noticed it, but I've noticed, say, for example, Princess Cruises announcing the California Coastal Cruises, California Classic Coastal Cruises. They only want to go up and down California. That's a shorter distance. Fewer gallons of gasoline being used by the cruise line to power the ship, to move it. I'm noticing Viking cruise lines starting in Miami, going to Cuba, 3 nights in one port, just hanging around, not moving. And then 2 nights back to Miami. That's a 1-week cruise. To me, I thought a 1-week cruise is at sea, a port stop, a day at sea. But some of these cruise lines are now offering double, triple night accommodation or same stays. They're not moving the ships. They want to cut back on expenses by not moving the ship as far. Finding that to be interesting as well. Let's see any more comments before we wrap this up. Robert Brandt, we do know his best year, he made $150 million on what he says was a $4 billion net worth. So I'd fire my financial manager if that's true, Robert Brandt. But we also know he lost $900 million in '94. Robert Brandt, I'm not financial genius, but making 20% on $100 million net worth, no issue. Robert Brandt, he dazzles the masses with his big numbers, and they lose it. And they lose it in the percentages. Rob Souter, become a national airline in Canada. The government will protect you. There's that too. Yes, finance, it's a complicated thing. It's a big deal. We're all part of it. We're all into it. What can I say? Cruising is just one one business in a world of business, and that's the way it is. I'm going to say my good nights because my folks are slowly giving up the ghost here, and why not? I've been on the air for almost 2 hours, talked long enough. 31 thumbs ups today. Thank you, everybody, for that. Thank you for your support of my channel by acquiring Traveling with Bruce merchandise. Thank you for trying to help me on Amazon, although Amazon doesn't always come through. Thank you for direct donations through PayPal. I appreciate them very much, as does Jennifer. And I will be on tomorrow for 2 shows. I'm on at 5 o'clock tomorrow and 8 tomorrow night, trivia for Thursday night. I look forward to seeing you guys for both shows. I hope you've enjoyed this one. And I hope I haven't bored you too much. Trying not to be political, but sometimes it's hard. Thanks again for joining me. I will see you tomorrow. This is Bruce with Traveling with Bruce saying thanks for joining me today on August the 8th, 2018. Have a pleasant evening, everybody. Keep cool out there. Stay safe. And we'll see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern and 8 o'clock Eastern. Bye for now.